ladies and gentlemen, I'm Zero Sum, and I am here to tell you why you should be buying Arthurian Legends as soon as humanly possible. This isn't so much going to be a review of the game as an exhortation, nay a call to arms to everybody listening to my voice right now to go buy this game, because after having played this thing to completion, I can tell you this is high on the list of contenders for Game of the Year as far as I'm concerned. So let me go into a little bit more detail. This is an old school first-person shooter type game created by one Keith Scolaro of Scolaro Games, a one-man indie game studio, so to speak. Started working in this thing in 2016, and it has just come out as of October 4th of this year. And hot damn do I love this game. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. Let's get started on this thing. I want to show off exactly what we're talking about here. So let's do a little character ring. Let's put this thing on.
Come at thee. Hail to the king.
Hail to the king, baby. Gotta love these old school 90s style difficulty levels. I especially love this one. Unfair. I shall likely die. No.
Pansy.
Classic.
Hail to the king.
You gotta love a game that's more willing to make fun of you during the difficulty selection. So, let's start off the first level with this baby. So, what do I like about this game? Just before we even get started, the presentation alone. You can tell right away that this game is very much in the vein of those old school 90s build engine shooters. We're talking Duke Nukem 3D, Shadow Warrior, Blood, the holy trifecta. As well as another game, the very first build engine game, in fact, before all of those, before even Duke Nukem 3D, Witch Haven by Capstone. Now, I've recently replayed a little bit of Witch Haven, just, to see if it still played exactly as it did, and there's a recent enhanced version that came out on Steam that I've been playing around with, and I see where they were going with it back in the day, but yeah, it needed work. It does not live up to the potential of the ideas that it had, unfortunately. This game, on the other hand, it does. And that is in spite of the fact that the developer had never actually played Witch Haven when he started making this game, which is mind-blowing in a certain way, but so it is. So, in any case, we'll see it when we start getting to gameplay, but there are a lot of similarities that mostly coincidental, but it comes from the fact that this is a largely melee-focused first-person shooter, which already is something that you don't see that much of because it's pretty hard to do properly. Now, this game is also Arthurian Legend inspired, as you can imagine from the title, as we can see from the description here. The local magic users got kicked out of Britain after something bad happened to King Uther's ladylove, and now they're back with a vengeance. The masters of the old religion. And unfortunately for them, they just made one hell of a mistake. They just broke into your house. And we're about to demonstrate why that was a very, very bad idea. Just like that. So yeah, in classic old school first-person shooter mode, as soon as you start, there's an enemy coming right into your face. That gives you a bit of an idea. Grab some chainmail here. And some cash. Gives you an idea of the kind of pace we're talking about here. The enemies are coming at you, and they're going to be coming at you hard. But also, it just demonstrates something else. He was chopping down that door, and you can do the exact same thing. We'll demonstrate that in a second as soon as I grab myself my hunter's axe. And demonstrate this as well. Take care of him. So, what I just showed is the parrying mechanic. This game is more than just holding down the blade and just going like this. For starters, as you can see when I hit the blade just at the right timing, there was a little spark, canceling out the enemy's attack and stunning him slightly for a little bit. There are also healing items, as you can see here. So this means that if you time your attacks, you can block pretty much anything that the enemy throws at you, including projectiles. Also, a cool thing is there's an arena mode. Any trophies you've acquired appear here on your mantelpiece. That's a nice little touch. Various healing items throughout the environment. Now, you also have another part of this game that is particularly interesting is the offhand system. Instead of having a dedicated alt fire, a lot of these weapons, the single-handed ones in any case, You can then choose one of different kinds of offhand weapons. Here I got a shield. There are different kinds of those. Later on, we can find a dagger. Bear traps, always handy. There are daggers that you can use that increase your melee damage, and a hand bow, a single-hand crossbow, which you can use to fire little mini bolts at enemies and do some range damage. So you have different varieties of combos that you can use. Do you want to be more on the defensive with a shield and a melee weapon, or shield and a ranged weapon, as we'll see in a bit once I get some of those? Or do you want to be able to just wade in and do a serious amount of damage by, dual wielding a dagger with a axe or a spiked club or different other kinds of weapons? Or do you want to be able to have melee and ranged at the same time, and from there you go with the hand bow. So as we saw earlier, you can cut down those kinds of doors too, and that is one of the ways that they hide secrets. Certain locked doors like these, you'll be able to. Oh, hello. Where the? Oh, hello. Yeah. Take care of you and grab our first throwing axe. So yeah, when I said this game was melee focused, I wasn't kidding. Most of the weapons you'll find are either melee weapons, like this, or thrown weapons, such as these. In this case, a throwing axe with a nice little parabola for throws. The only other weapons that have a decent range to them and don't simply arc and hit the ground at a limited range are the various crossbows that you find, and a magic weapon that you acquire after defeating the first boss called the Jester's Staff, which fires magical projectiles and is one of your few sources of reusable magical equipment. Most of the ones you'll find are spells in the form of runes, which we'll be able to see in a second after I talk to this guy. This guy here is an interesting character. He's a peg-legged merchant who shows up after you've beaten the game at least once and allows you to buy a variety of things, including a indestructible shield. That's apparently going to get nerfed a little bit in a future update. It's going to instead have 7,777 durability. Not too much different. Various equipment, poison bombs, potions that replicate certain power-ups, as well as certain runes of themselves, which can be acquired. That these two are from boss abilities, and this one is basically an extra life in case you get killed. So those are handy. First things first, we need a little bit more cash from the ancient Celtic secret, and a rune of apocalypse. So if we take a look at our inventory here, Hunter's Axe, Throwing Axe, Shield, which is currently at 70%. You have Healing Potion, Bear Traps, deals damage and traps the enemy for a short duration. Unused traps can be picked up and reused. And Caltrops, deals damage and stops the enemy for a moment. And finally, the Apocalypse Rune deals extreme fire damage to all enemies in nearby vicinity. We'll be able to test this baby out a little bit later. Now we've got enough to buy... Yeah, let's buy a Poison Bomb. Yeah, one of these babies. There are different kinds of grenades that can be acquired during the game. There's incendiary and just regular explosive. Those ones are only acquirable from this guy. He appears at the start of each chapter, so you can, buy stuff later on if you still have the cash for it. Now, let's put these and take on these bastards. And of course, you can kick heads. And for those who are wondering, there is an option. There is an option in the menu to turn off giant spiders. They get replaced by another enemy for the arachnophobes in the audience. Another secret over here. And of course, the holy hand grenade. And before you wonder, yes, there is in fact a killer rabbit in one of the episodes that you can use this thing on. Also, throwing knives. These are poisonous, and enemies that die from them will actually explode into puddles of poison that can detonate other enemies, so it's always a nice little chain reaction. A bunch of these throwing knives. Throwing axes. Nice. Secrets are very important, as you can imagine, for any kind of old-school shooter. And also, they're a bit of world building. As you can see, we saw earlier the Rune of Apocalypse. The runes that you find are the only place you can find them are in secret areas. They don't appear anywhere else for the most part, except in areas that are, you know, later game places, like just before going to a boss room, for instance. This means that they are essentially the leftover bits of magic that were squirreled away by the various mages that were kicked out of Albion by Uther, and then, you know, left there for another time. Take care of you. Oh, got one back. Nice. Some more. There's another guy. Ooh, and yes, you can overkill enemies and have them explode, which is awesome. And there's some other stuff around here. Oh. These guys are... Ow! These guys drop puddles of toxin, which hurt, as you can see. Luckily, grab some of the healing items. Take this baby. Extra 100 health right there and then. So there's a very much incentive to hunt down secrets. In this level, there are 7 of them. Currently 17 points of armor. 17 out of 25 points of armor on this baby. Chainmail reduces damage received by 25%. There are different kinds of armor that you can find. This is the least of the armor you have. There's also scale mail, full-on plate mail, different varieties of that. Let's get over here. There's another secret above the waterfall. This time, Rune of Fireball. You can set enemies on fire and do damage over time, but you have to be careful because this baby will set you on fire if you're within range of it. So, another cool thing is that you can actually continue increasing your health up to 200% at 1% increments just by picking up healing items continuously after you go over 100. Oh, hello. These guys. Let's hit them with the fireball, demonstrate that. Yeah, you guys. Boom! Another cool thing is, as you can see, your shield takes visible damage as it loses durability. That is an awesome touch. And, well, there we go. Sometimes enemies such as these will drop round shields. Different enemies will have different drops. So, for instance, as we can see from the bestiary, which is quite extensive, this is the Saxon Warriors. Occasionally drops a shield. The Marauders here, those guys drop throwing axes. We can later run into the Saxon Berserker. He drops a spiked club that has the added bonus of being able to stun enemies and knock them back. So it's a good combo with either the dagger or the handbow, allowing you to stun enemies and then just, you know, keep going in for more damage. This guy drops a two-handed bastard sword. Two-handed weapons have their own alt fire. Oh. And here's a guy who doesn't show up unless you're on this difficulty or higher, and that is the Poison Imp. Oh. Ow. And they're unpoisoned. Let's take care of this guy. There we go. First, the demonic enemies you run into at Hail to the King or higher, come at thee, he doesn't show up. So we've also got some archers over here. Let's go take care of them. Now those guys are immune to poison. And as you can see, shields also able to parry, and that will reduce or even completely remove any damage to the shield itself. Grab some bolts, bandage, and crossbow. So this is, as I said, is one of the only 2 proper ranged weapons. Also, there are walls you can crack open. Freezing, very nice. Fish here. Always look around the water. You never know when you can find something to heal yourself. So, there's often lots of smaller healing items around campfires, on tables. One of the things that this game does extremely well, just like its classic build engine predecessors, is recreating a place. Each of these areas It doesn't just feel like a random labyrinth of a level like the original Witch Haven, for instance, did. Here, each place has been really well made and feels like an actual location. Like this place, it feels like actual ruins and stuff like that. It goes down to not only just the aesthetic, like with all these little extra medieval imagery and all that stuff. Quite jump that. But also just, the architecture and everything. A house feels like an actual house. A castle feels like an actual castle. And that's good because one thing this game doesn't have is a map system. Not yet. It might get implemented at some other point. The developer is still currently working on patches and stuff like that for any of the smaller issues that have popped up. Which brings to mind that, aside from some people have complained of severe performance issues, I haven't had any. I think it has something to do mostly with the CPU of your computer and stuff like that. Let's freeze this guy. And shatter him. Nice. So yeah, magic really comes in. Grab some armor. And some water. So one of the things, as I said, that are currently being worked on is a couple of performance issues and stuff like that. I didn't run into any. The fact that this game runs as well as it does, as it is pretty incredible. Ooh, we got doggies. Let's hit him with that. At higher difficulties, especially with the dog enemies, those bear traps and caltrops come in really, really handy. Grab that. Also, another secret. Always pays to look around. Some of these secrets are particularly important because, aside from an invincibility power-up that I'm not going to waste, go get some bastards. There we go. Come on. Animal lovers, look away. I'll use that poison bomb. Oh, they're both poison. Let's see how long it lasts. There we go. Get this guy too. That should be enough. There we go. Any enemy that walks into those gets poisoned as well. Nice. Grab these. You can probably see why I love this game so much. It has a completely different feel because, for one thing, the range of combat, he even melted the skin off his face, nice. The range of combat is much shorter. Everything is more melee focused. As you can see up here, like the darkness here, the draw distance, the visibility is much lower than you'd have in some other games. One, this helps with performance in certain ways. And two, it also ensures that all of your combat is happening at a much closer range. Even the more professionally ranged enemies like those archers there don't start attacking until you are within visibility range. So until you can see them, they can't see you. So let's activate this. What do we got? Let's give a demonstration what this baby can do. No! Incinerates everybody. So you can imagine on certain areas where there's a lot of enemies, that comes in really handy. And, ooh, hello. Ooh, fire bombs. Nice. I'll have a chance to show off the 7 out of 7. Nice. Yeah, the Forsaken Fort. So here I'll be able to demonstrate another aspect of the secrets. Aside from the fact that they're everywhere. In fact, there's sometimes where the secret is actually the door that normally would not allow you to go back. Well, in that case you can. So always have a chance to poke at that. Take care of him. You can also knock enemies' projectiles right out of the air with your own. The game's sound effects are also great. Just the squish of kicking the heads or taking off, decapitating somebody. All the little munching sounds that you make. Frickin' poison rats. For that to go away. Oh shit. He is cheese. Some throwing axes. Very much this plays exactly like a normal first-person shooter of the era, except on one hand, you're not moving as quickly. So that forces you to be a bit more defensive and more careful with the items you use as well. You want to use those caltrops. You want to use those bear traps, especially again at higher difficulties. Otherwise, you are going to get your ass kicked. Oh, here's the key. You want it. Here we go, and there's that dagger, as I said. So you can do a nice little cool thing like that. You can also parry attacks with the dagger as well, so that is definitely helpful. So charge our armor, grab the bronze key, which we're going to use to open the... Ooh, hello. Ooh, headshot. Nice. So this is the door that opens. First things first, let's take a look around here. There was another passageway this way. So this door is locked. As you can imagine, that means we got some supplies. And, ooh, grenade. Nice. Take him out. Oh, somebody's in there. So this door is going to get open somewhere else. Oh, hey. These guys will open doors. They'll actually go for cover, too, which is a neat touch. Let's go full. You can do a lot of damage very quickly by dual wielding. However, you lack much defensive ability outside of your parry, so... And also, goddamn, is this game kind of fucked up sometimes. Yeah. I mean, look at this. There's other areas where this place is just littered with dead bodies and everything. Eyeballs, there's entrails everywhere. This is a very dark game that doesn't... But it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's also not particularly comedic. Like, you know, there's no one-liners or anything like that. So it is very much its own kind of tone. Alright, so let's go and open up that doorway over there. Grab some more gold. Outside of the merchant that shows up when you've beaten the game, there is no other use for gold. You don't run into any other of that, so... Ooh, hello. Let's see if I can hit the... projectile out of the air. Oh, okay, never mind. Unfortunately, trying to hit those things out of the air is not easy with a melee weapon. That's one of the reasons why you want to pack a shield as well. So, let's head this way. Always check under stairs. You never know when you might find some more high explosives. Incidentally, those kinds of grenades are historically accurate, that particular shape. You can't actually find those in reality. So let's grab some more gear around here. Is there anything around there? Ooh, axes. Oh. You can stun enemies by shoving them, but it does take out some of their durability, the shield's durability, so you can't always rely on it. And that is very much something that occurs with all combat in this game. You have a wide variety of different weapons that you'll end up being able to use, but aside from a few of them, like your fists and this axe, they all have durability. They all eventually run out of ammunition, or they break, or something like that. Which means... Oop. Oh, ran right into it. Nice. These ones hurt. However, they hide secrets of life. So you definitely have to use your entire resources, all your different weapons. Silver key. You're constantly hunting down for new replacements for weapons, using certain weapons on certain enemies, like using the... Oh, hey! Trying to interrupt me while I'm expounding here. There we go. Oh, yeah! So, for instance, there. Kill the guys with the shield, get a new shield. Kill the guys with the throwing axes, get new throwing axes. All that kind of stuff. Eventually, when you run to those berserkers, you get the spiked clubs off of them. Potion right there.
Yeah.
Also, there's a nice little touch where the severed heads tend to land on things like tables or shelves. It's a nice little touch. Yeah. And they do a little bit of damage when you hit them. Oh, hey. Also, another thing I like, this axe remains useful throughout the game. It does a decent amount of damage. Other weapons do more, but having it around is handy. Grab this coin. So I think we're about to run into... Boom. Screw you. I think there's also more gold up here and replacement bomb. Nice. Now, over here, we had a guy, and here we have one of these special doors that we are going to open. This one requires something called an ancient key. And those are important because they hide either something that's going to be in here, special relics that give you permanent bonuses, or they hide the entrances to secret levels. There's one in each chapter. And you definitely do not want to miss out on those, because one, they have their own bosses, but also their own items sometimes as well. So wait for that to come back. And there's a secret over this way.
Yeah.
There we go. Always pays to explore, and this is one thing that I love. This game takes all the basic tropes of an old school 90s shooter, the build engine style, architectural realism, so to speak, the texturing, all the different, the graphical style and everything, the sprite based enemies, but it does its own thing with them. Melee combat. Ooh. Evil possessed knight. Let's see if I can take this guy with nothing but shield and axe. There we go. And got ourselves a bastard sword with a little bit of that. So this one's cool because it has extra reach, and not only does it do more damage, so that's the kind of reach it's got, but if you're up close, it actually hits multiple times on the way down. So that is impressive. You can hit multiple enemies as well, if you aim it right. Grab this too. Oh, locked door, right? Give this baby a shot. Bam! As you can see, very powerful. But durability also can be used as it's a two-handed weapon. As an alt fire, you can block with it. Jeez. There we go. So yeah, that thing hurts like hell. Now, here, snack them out. So definitely you want to keep your axe out to save on durability as well. Freaking cancer mouse over here. That. Got some extra stuff there.
Yeah.
So, for instance, here. The enemy is not visible, it won't attack. As soon as it goes into visible range, then it starts attacking. So there's a degree of fairness involved in this. Also, no enemy... There are no hit scan enemies. Everything is projectile based. So, you don't have to worry about that. That is a good touch. Let's get down here.
Yeah.
Grab that shield. Later on we could go back for some armor from one of these stashes we left behind, but that won't be necessary for now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
hop up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We could have just gone in through here, come out, taking these guys out manually, or you can use that as a sniping point. Get different approaches depending on the kinds of weapons you have available and the approach you want to take. And here's something else he was messing. This is something he added when he was doing, the developer added when he was doing, rounds of the levels and, trying to save time while it was developing. You can now knock over these little rope ladders. And climb up. Nice little shortcuts. That's something I appreciate. I haven't seen that many in these kinds of games do that kind of thing, and I like that quite a bit. Alright. Oh, we got our big boy. And now he's gone. Replacement dagger. There's another kind of dagger that's basically a Roman one, and another single-handed weapon like the axe with the Roman gladius. Alright, so here is where we find the ancient key. Back through here, through there. Actually, I can open that. Oftentimes, either the key or the door is going to be hard to find. Either hidden inside a secret or, camouflaged somehow. There's at least one that I found by just smashing through a wall and found the ancient door there. And you definitely want to hunt those down because we're about to demonstrate. Hop back over here. Quickly make our way back. As you can imagine, there is a bit of backtracking involved, and on at least one level, the frozen cavern level that's in the second chapter, that was a bit more labyrinthine than the others. These ones, you can find your way around pretty easily, and you don't really require a map. But, some people who are more used to having one may find that a little bit of a problem. At least until they get their bearings. Alright, here we go. So here, the Blood Ring, Ancient Relic. So, from here, you can see you have room for 8 different relics. This one adds 10 to your base health, so now your base health goes up to 110. What this means is that each one of those things, and also some plate mail, so we can demonstrate this as well. This one AC 3 instead of AC 1, lasts longer, and reduces damage by 50% instead of 25. And Kite Shield, definitely a way better, not only different graphic to it, but absorb twice as much damage as the round shield. Much, much more effective. Let's grab some fire bombs. And move on. Not this way. It is possible to get turned around. But in general speaking, the levels are pretty well designed to the point where you don't actually get lost all that often. The only times it happened for me is because when I was playing this game, I was streaming and therefore getting distracted by chat and all that stuff, so it was a bit easier for me to get lost. However, on average, I didn't find I got lost too much. When I was key hunting and I missed something, it was my own fault for not paying attention. Smash right through this. Oh. He got killed by his own guy. Nice. Took his head off. On this difficulty and higher, they actually will drop grenades for you. That's a nice touch too, because they know they're going to come in very handy against tougher enemies. Let's set him on fire. Oh, and some armor. Okay, well, don't need it at the moment. Lower I'm talking here. Lower grades of armor don't get picked up unless, of course, your current armor is very, very damaged. If it's better than the one that's available. So, like right now, my plate mail is at 87%. I'm not picking up that chainmail. And you can see already the difference that the proper armor does when compared to just regular stuff. Now let's grab a couple more snackies. Red. Oh. Another one to smash open. What do we get? Some bandages, potion of strength, bear traps, hand axes. There is an artifact, a special relic that's available that increases the amount of ammunition that you can carry for the different weapons that you have, for throwing ranged ones. And there's another one for... What is that? I think there's a secret around here. There's another one for items that you pick up, which I haven't been using too many of them. Let's give ourselves the... Right there. Twice as much damage. There's a replacement shield over here. Right around. There we go. Take this guy out. Oh. Oh, I love doing that. How many secrets did I find so far? I've only found half the secrets in this level. Some of these can be pretty... Gotcha. Some of them can be pretty hard to find at times. Others not so much. But often those secrets will also include like little Easter eggs. Like there's at least one that has Santa Claus. Somewhere in the second episode. Another one's got a statue of Duke Nukem. So this game very much knows when to take itself seriously and when not to. Oh, and we got a big boy there. Grab that. I should really use this baby at some point. Yeah. So this has been what was included in the initial demo. From here on out, this is all new. At least want to blow up something with the holy hand grenade. Oh, and just to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Sometimes you got little secrets like that that are kind of hard to find. But yeah, this has been Arthurian Legends, and as you can see, it stands out even among the sheer quantity. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Sheer quantity of first-person shooters out there. It's got its own style, it's got its own feel. And poison spiders. And there's no other game quite like it out there. Like, quite frankly, other than, you know, as I said, you know, Witch Haven, and even then, that game... Oh yeah, Chalice of Rage. As you can guess what this does. Splat! Oh, look how happy he is. That is a very happy man. Oh god, his legs flying around. I love this game. Simply put, there are no other games quite like this one. And on higher difficulties, this game becomes a real challenge. You have to really worry about the different resources you have. Alright. Let's put an end to these guys. Boom! I love it. Oh, and here's a spike club. This is the one that does stun damage as well, so very handy. One of my favorite things to do is have it have the stun thing with a dagger. Stun, attack, stun, attack, stun, attack. It's just wonderful. Here, where's that switch? Right here. So yeah, I am going to keep playing this game. Oop, we got company. So let's see what else I got. Got the Rune of Quake. Stun him. Ow. There we go. Poison damage is no joke. Luckily for that, we got the antidote potions to make you immune. Yeah. So as you can see, you really need to use all the weapons and things in your arsenals, especially at higher difficulties. So yeah, this game is awesome. There are no other games that play exactly like it. And quite frankly, I hope that the developer for this gets a incredible amount of success. Because quite frankly, this is a guy who did this pretty much all on his own. He's got a little bit of help with the 3D modeling, and that was it. This guy made a brand spanking new game from an engine I had never even heard of. Something called the 001 engine. Never even actually heard of it or heard of any games made from it. Apparently it's a game that's mostly used for like side scrollers and stuff, and he made a freaking full 3D, well, 2.5D first person shooter out of it. All on his own. Like all this stuff, the levels handcrafted with, think like clip art to various images for, the little bits of medievalism that you see on the walls and stuff like that, but hot damn, this is impressive. One guy did all this. So my hat is off to Keith Scolaro. This game is freaking incredible, and I want everybody to play it. You can just hear in my voice how enthusiastic I am about this thing. I'm gonna keep playing the arenas. I want to beat all of those.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Just look at that, just randomly finding secrets everywhere. It is just awesome. Arthurian Legends, ladies and gentlemen. It's currently going for like $13 Canadian. $13. You get 3 episodes with about 6 levels each, plus secret levels. There's 4 different arenas to conquer. There's a horde mode in this game. Quite frankly, you need to play this game. If you have any love for this era of first-person shooters, if you have any love for good melee combat in games, if you have any love at all for independent, single working devs who do this in spite of the fact that they also have a 40-hour a week work day job that they also work, and they're doing this all in their spare time. Frankly, I want to see this become a smash hit, because if this guy can do this, then who's to say what any of us can do, right? Who's to say what else is possible? And on that note, this is a call to arms, ladies and gentlemen. Go and buy this game. Even if you don't actually like this kind of game, I want you to buy it for someone who does. God, I love this. Well, that is all I've had to say about this. If I haven't convinced you by now, then either nothing will, or you just have terrible taste in video games, because this is awesome. I've been Zero Sum. This has been Arthurian Legends, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.